The Double Jump or Faydown Cloak is the last traversal ability unlocked in Act 2 of Hollow Knight Silksong. It is required to fully explore all regions throughout Farloom and the Citadel. This guide covers how to unlock it, and as usual, useful timestamps can be found in the video description. This guide assumes that we've already unlocked the Clawline or grapple hook ability, and I covered how to get that in my previous guide, which I will leave a link to near the bottom of this video's description. The first thing we will need to do is get to the Slab, and that will require us getting kidnapped. We will start at the Pilgrim's Rest Bellway, then move west and up towards the indicated chamber in Deep Docks. Given all of our traversal upgrades, this trip should be extremely quick and easy. There is the potential that you will need to hit one lever to unlock the way forward if you have not already done so earlier in your travels. Once we've reached this chamber, which will be easily reached with the Cling Grip ability, we will need to allow ourselves to be captured by the Warden Fly. A brief moment later, we can spam the attack button to break free of our cage. We are now in the slab, but unfortunately, we don't have any of our stuff. To get it back, we will need to drop down and go through the bottom west exit. We can then jump up and attack a breakable wall to open the path forward. Traveling up into the west, we will pass under our captors before heading out into the cold, which will start quickly damaging us if we stay in it for too long. Because of that, we should quickly drop down and enter back inside to the east. We will need to get past several penitent bugs as we move east, then drop down through a hole. If we want, we can speak to Grindel before going into the west chamber. There, we'll find the key of Indolent up on a chain, which we can strike to make it fall, then pick it up and move back out east. With that, we are now able to open the door where Grindel was previously near and run into the next chamber. We can follow the bench sign to reach our next checkpoint, as well as have another chat with Grindel. We don't have a map to refer to, but we can move west from here and drop down past the Guardfly, then move into the bottom east chamber. Opening the locked gate here will lead us into an arena where several waves of enemies will need to be defeated. We can manipulate the traps by stepping on the pressure plates to aid in this task. Once all waves have been cleared, we can move out to the east, then platform our way up as we avoid spiked wheels and traps. There are also pressure plates on the wall partway up that we will want to avoid. Getting to the surface, we will need to move west, stopping at braziers along the way to warm us back up and prevent frost damage. There is also a shortcut that we can open up at the end of this path, but that is mostly to aid in exploration after we get our stuff back. In any case, we will drop down through the hole on the west side of the surface to enter back into the slab. Following the signs will bring us to our next checkpoint. We can then move east and down before moving west. This will bring us to a spot above our captors where we can drop down and get our stuff back. That being said, we won't have any of our tools equipped, so this fight can still be a tad bit challenging to get through. Once we've defeated the last foe, we can grab the Key of Heretic, then move east to the nearby bench. We should take a moment to re-equip our tools, and although we don't have the map for this area, we can still at least see where we are in reference to the rest of the world. East of here is the first Heretic door that we will open. We will then run out and drop down to the bottom of this vertical chamber, going back through the bottom west exit once again. We can open the Indolent door this time, then drop through the hole that follows. Going through the east exit, we can drop down past the guardfly once more, then use the Key of Heretic to open the central passage down. We'll hit a lever to open the next passage down, then move through the west exit. Moving further west and following the sign will eventually lead us to a new bench, as well as the Bellway fast travel station for the slab. Once again, we don't have a map for this area, but we know that we are at the Slab Bellway, and that's enough for us to go off of. Moving west from the bench, we should activate the fast travel station, as that is our ticket out of this place. Before we take it though, we need to go get our double jump. For that, we will move west of the station out into the cold. With the Clawline ability, we should be able to cross the divide and reach Mount Fay. In the very first chamber is a bench to rest at, as well as Chakra, who will sell us the map for Mount Fay. All that stands between us and our double jump now is a whole lot of platforming with the Clawline. The first section starts to the west, then eventually goes east as we move up. The heat lamps will provide us with warmth as we move through this section, but we need to move quickly between the platforming sections if we want to reach them without taking damage. The first section out to the east is the best example of this, requiring a very good pace to avoid damage. Keep in mind that you can Clawline immediately after hitting an enemy with it, as doing so generates silk, but if you hit a ring or plain air with it, then it will take a second before enough silk has been generated to use the Clawline again. The second section of platforming here will require us to combine our air dash with the Clawline in order to get through a dual-sided spike trap. We then need to quickly Clawline between several driftlands to reach our next safe spot. After moving west past some spools of silk, we will need to carefully drop down the tube that follows, avoiding several nemonids along the way. Our goal is to land on the western ledge about halfway down the tube, then move into it. There is a really full spool of silk here that we can harvest and use to heal up if needed, and then we will need to move west past a hostile servitor Borin and break through some debris to continue. There is a checkpoint just beyond this next section, but this section is very unforgiving and will likely result in death if you fall into the frigid water. Don't get tricked by the ring when you first see it. We need to first Clawline the nearby Nemonid to get the height needed to then hook the ring and continue to a safe spot. It is then just two more precarious platforming sections in order to reach a checkpoint. If we go out to the west of the chamber with the bench sign, we will see a mask shard floating nearby. This cannot be reached until after we have double jump. For now though, we can break through a wall down to the east and head through it to reach the bench. It's safe to say that this bench is probably worth the 90 rosaries, especially if you struggle to get this far. After resting at the bench, we can hit the nearby lever on our way up and out to the next platforming section. Once again, we will need to chain our Clawline ability to platform up and to the east, keeping our silk reserves in mind so that we don't mistime anything and end up falling back down. There is another dash Clawline section after the next safe spot, but this time it is followed by a more demanding Clawline maneuver to reach the next section successfully. Once we've made it to the top east chamber, we will need to use our cloak to carefully drop down a tube lined with spikes in several sections. Don't take too long though, as we still have the cold to worry about. We'll then need to get through another platforming section with Nemenids, and I had a slight misstep here, but was able to recover in time. Following this is another precarious frozen lake section, followed by a full spool of silk to heal at. Moving further east and past another servitor, we will unlock a shortcut back to an earlier part of the mountain. This next section is followed by a hidden safe spot. After clawlining between several driftlands and rings, we will hop up to a level ground. We need to quickly move west and break through the debris there to access a heat source and bench to rest at. All that's left is the final stretch. We'll need to clawline up to the east, then air dash / clawline over another spike pit, following it with a well-timed clawline to a nearby driftland. We'll then need to perform a skillful wall jump to get onto level ground and quickly move west towards the next safe spot. This next section has a really difficult wall jump, requiring a very small margin of error to get up and over some wall spikes. After that, it's just a few more claw lines and dashes to reach the next safe spot. After climbing up the nearby tube, we'll need to get over some spikes and move west towards an airstream. We can ride this the rest of the way up, then move east to reach the final safe spot, a tuning mechanism. Interacting with it and playing our Indolent will lead to a short cutscene, the end result of which is unlocking Double Jump or the Faydown Cloak. In addition, the cloak makes us impervious to the cold air of the mountain. There is still more to explore here now that we have the Faydown Cloak, including that mask shard from earlier. However, if we want to leave, we can do so by just jumping off and floating down towards the east. This will get us back to the Slab Bellway in short order, which we can then take to wherever we want to go. We should now have all major traversal upgrades from both Act 1 and Act 2, which will allow us to thoroughly explore Farloom and the Citadel, uncovering all its secrets and loads of upgrades to make us more powerful. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me in the comments, where I will do my best to help. If you want to see more great content, you can head over to my channel, and if you're new, consider subscribing. You're helping me feed my cat. Her name's Marshmallow. Have a great day if you're here today, have a great Tuesday, and as always, thanks for watching.